So I just watched the movie Wrong Turn, and it was freaky. It's basically about these monsters. Like, nothing, there's no other way to say it. Like, they're monsters, and they look like monsters. And, like, they've been maybe deformed, mutation happened, and yeah, so they function as monsters, right? And then they just kill people who come through this space where they live, and it's absolutely horrifying. And they're hunters, and they have guns, and it's just the feeling of like there's no regard for life, human life. So it's pretty disgusting. It starts, if you go back, there's a scene where there are rock climbers, and, they get killed on these rocks because they see their um, gear and they get killed. I mean, it's like so fast. Like, it's clear. Like, there's no, like, it's a little different than maybe some other uh ghost stories where it's just like it's just like a hunter. It's just like it's pretty animalistic, you know, from the you know from the perspective of the monsters or the freaks. And you can tell because there's no like talking it out. They don't even communicate. I mean, they obviously communicate with each other, but like the the sounds that they make it sounds like, you know ghosts ghosts or a monster, you know sound. So that's how it starts. And then there's like a guy driving down in West Virginia, which I've never been to West Virginia. It seems like I've heard a lot of different stories about West Virginia. I heard a story about like a bridge. I don't remember if it's Virginia or West Virginia, but I think it's West Virginia, where there's like a bridge where there's like a turnoff that people can, have accidents on. And I'm like, no. So just hearing that one story from a long time ago, from one where it's a real story that this happened, like people have had accidents on this drive, and I was like, oh no, I'm good. It doesn't seem like that's a place that I need to be at. I don't need to go there. Like, what's there? I don't know. So it's giving, there's something in the water. There's something that happened in this environment to make bad things happen. So this guy, he has a wrong turn. He's trying to get a call out. He can't. And then there's just a guy like in a little cabin. And he's like, the part that got me is that this guy who's sitting in this cabin, and he doesn't have any teeth really. And, it seems like he's just out there in the wilderness. He looks like he might be a part of this monster family, but he's just like, I don't know, maybe the gatekeeper or the one that kind of, tells them to go that way. I don't even know, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, why doesn't he tell to the guy, like, oh yeah, you're taking a wrong turn. There are people there who could kill you, No, he's just like, yep. And he says it. He's like, yep, you're gonna have a not good day or something like that. It's not gonna be a good day for you or something like that. It's like, what? I'm like, okay, so this is the whole thing. And so he goes, is going down the road or whatever, and then he smashes into another truck. But before that, he sees like carcass of like a deer on the road. And it's interesting because it seems like, and also when you look, into the story a little bit more, and you see these monsters and where they live, it's like they're not picking up the carcass of the animal, okay? They're literally just, I don't know if they're eating maybe they must be eating the humans that they're picking up or whatever, but they're taking those back to the where they live and leaving the animals. You know what I mean? So that was just interesting. So that was kind of saw it. Like you're foreseeing that. Like, okay, yeah, they're gonna eat these people or whatever. So then hits a truck, and he's really apologetic and stuff like that. And they have this crash basically, and then there are five other people in this truck that they're in. And so they're like really upset and like, oh my goodness, you crashed into us. And we're trying to figure out what way, because they're like, oh yeah, we had a wrong turn again. Like everybody's had a wrong turn. So he's like, okay. And they just like welcome him into the group. The whole time I was thinking like, oh my goodness, is he like, you know what I'm saying? You never know what's going to jump out at you. It's like, is he like a part of this? You know what I'm saying? But remembering past, like what happened before, he definitely was a guy who was running, he was like on a wrong turn. So yeah, but the whole time I was thinking, is he, because he just was so like resourceful. He was so resourceful during the whole movie. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, they're walking together, and the people, they're all together, like, they go for this little like, I think they're trying to find like a bathroom. Yeah, because they're stranded at this point. They're both of their cars aren't working. So they find this a dwelling space, and they realize that there are other people who they were with got picked up by these monsters and were killed, because they kind of spit off there are two, girl and a guy, three pairs, and the guy is like, he goes off first, and then the girl follows him, and then they get hit right away, and so then they're in the truck being brought by the monsters back to their space where they live. And it's disgusting. So this is the part where it's like, oh my goodness, they figure out there's something really bad happening. And of course, it's always hard to watch these things because, like, as soon as you see it, I feel like most people in that kind of situation, they're like, no. Like, I'm not going to walk through this creepy house. I'm not going to see what's in there. You know what I mean? Like, I just, no, it's already giving, like, there's no light in here, there's no, you know what I mean? It's not like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, I don't need to do that. I can see there's probably something I shouldn't be dealing with in there. So no, but of course this is the movie. So they're just walking through it, looking through, like there's all types of body parts. It seems like they're just like cutting up the bodies and stuff like that. It's gross. So, and so they see them coming there, finally, with more bodies from their friends that they just got to. And they're trying to leave. They're going to try to leave, but of course they can't, because the monsters are in the space now. So, so they're hiding. One's under the bed. The other, I don't really understand the space of this place, but like another couple is in the back, whatever, and they're trying to like, I don't know, dismember this, this one of the girls, or the girl. I think the guy was somewhere else. Yeah, so it's disgusting. So it seems like they lay there for a long time while they're like working on this body, and then they go to sleep. Okay, I don't know if they ate or what. Again, like I'm little, like it makes me very weirded out and curious about these monsters, because it's like, what? How do they live? Like, I don't know. So anyway, so then they run, they get away, but it's really hard. They're like trying to sneak out as the monsters are laying down or whatever, and so then the monsters come after them, of course, because they're like, it's crickety in there, and they can finally hear them like running away. So then they have this plan to distract them. Okay, this is the part that was wild to me. So one of the guys, he's like, okay, hey, I'm gonna distract them and get their truck, and we can get away. And so he gets shot in the leg right away. Okay, he is maybe that was part of the plan. I don't know. Okay, but he's like, all right, I'm gonna distract them, and you two girls go ahead and get in the truck, and we'll get the truck. So then, you know, the second guy, he's like, okay, I'm gonna do that too, and I'm gonna run. And I don't know why. I don't understand how this all even worked out. Why did the guy start running that way? Like he was a track star, like he was able to do that. I'm like, what? Why is this a good choice? I don't know. So you never know. So then they're going after him. One of them, there's three guys. There's three monsters. Three monsters. I didn't even know. Like at one point, you just think, oh, it's just one monster. Then you see three. It's like, wow. And the shots in this movie is cool because you can kind of see above, and you kind of have to kind of make sense of what's happening here, the space. So anyway, so then the girls get into the truck, and they also go and get the guy, like the guy who's been shot. That was the point that was kind of confusing to me. I'm like, why wouldn't the monsters go to the guy who was shot too? Like maybe they didn't see him, they didn't know if they had hit him. I don't even know. It was very weird. So again, it's a movie, so it's I feel like with this kind of movie, it's like, oh yeah, they totally three of these monsters who are really strong and like know these woods and all of this, like, yeah, they definitely would have killed them right away. But of course, this is a movie, so they go get the guy who's been shot. So they bring him back to the truck. I don't know where the other monsters are because again, they would be right there waiting for him. But I guess they all like follow the other guy. So anyway, they get in the truck, and like then they're like trying to find the guy, which one of the women is married or engaged with the guy. So she's like really trying to find this guy. This is her man, right? So she's like, hey, Todd, calling his name. And they're like so close, he's like, all right, I'm about to come. He's like coming down, running. And then he gets hit with a bow and arrow 3 times in the back. Okay, so he's done. Okay, she's watching him go down, and she's like, damn, he's down. Okay. And there was a point in this where I didn't really understand, like because he tried to shoot, one of the monsters tried to shoot into the truck, and there was a minute where I thought the other guy had been hit too. And I was like, wait, hold on. And see, like, that's the twist that I thought was going to happen. Like, oh my goodness, he's also out. Because I was like, if he's out, both of these girls are done for. You know what I mean? Easily. So, but no, he was still in the truck and, like, with them and stuff. But she was having a hard time, obviously, because she was like, oh my God, my man just was, like, killed. Like, what, it's scary. It's a lot of energy, it's problems. So anyway, they're trying to get out or whatever, and yeah, so they're driving or whatever, and they come to a stump where like they can't get past it. Their truck is stuck in the mud or whatever, and like I don't know, whatever. So they can't go forward. So they've been walking. They can't see the monsters. They don't know where the monsters are. So they're just like, all right, we just gotta find like a place to be. Okay, it's dark at this point. Okay, and they found a tower, like a watchtower. And they're like, okay, it's really high, so let's go ahead and see if there's like a signal so we can get some help. So they go up there. They both climb. All 3 of them climb up there, and they're just trying to get in. They do get a little signal from the radio, and but then the monster, one of the little monster, is trying to raise up his way up. So, and then they start to try to burn these people down that are in the the tower because they put furniture over the entry of the watchtower, and so they're like, oh, you know what? We just gonna burn these motherfuckers down. And so they try to do that. Then he's like, all right, we gotta jump out of this tree because we about to be burned. So we can't stay in this tree. And they're all the way up high. So all three of them jump out again. Okay, in a bigger tree. So there's like a lot of trees in this area. You know, it's like really woody and everything. So it's dark and everything. So they're right down there. They're right down waiting for them to come down, right? So they can kill them. And then the little guy, he's goes up the tree to try to find them, right? You know, just like he just got off the watchtower, now he's about to go up this tree to get them because he sees them up there. So again, this is really a hunting movie, okay? I don't need to really go into much more, but like we're about done. And then there was one point where they're walking through all these trees, you know, and try to get past and get through. And, you know, it's creaking, and then, you know, the guy, the monster, is behind her, the girl who her fiance died. She gets hit, and she's over. And then the part that I really liked is they finally got smart, and then like, okay, like, I mean, they were smart the whole time. I mean, that's the idea, is that they're like, you know, this guy is like, he's really helping them, and like he's the leader of the group, right? Even though he's shot, you know what I mean? He's able to like still move. I don't know how he's able to do this, and he has all these skills and he can do this, because honestly, that's crazy. But he like basically tries to get like a slingshot to knock the guy off this tree, because he's like got his, you know, weapon over the girl, and he's like, all right, I'm about to get this other girl with a like an axe. And then the slingshot hits the guy, which is like a branch that hits him, and he knocks off the tree all the way to the ground. Okay, and then they're able to get away, and then they're going through this waterfall, and it's really nice, and it's a new day now, and you know, they've been, it's been kind of quiet. You know, they don't know where these guys are, but then they did see one of the guys like through the water, and so they didn't make their way to them. They just kind of let them be, but you knew they were going to come back for them, right? So then they're going up this hill, or like it's like a rocky cliff, and she gets got, you know, she gets picked up by, this time, this was interesting because she didn't just get killed right on the spot. She gets picked up and brought to their other dwelling where they were living. And the other guy, he gets knocked down this rock, and, you know, and then he comes to, the police are there, you know, and these are the people who were on the radio, you know, last night or whatever, that they were trying to get a signal of. And they did get a little bit, but they, you know, obviously they couldn't really help them until, you know, this guy shows up. And those are the kind of things where it's like always there's someone who's coming to help, you know. This is the worst. This is why it's like, why do we love this shit to watch? And because it's like, okay, I'm coming to help you, and I see, oh my goodness, like this guy's bloody, you know. It's like, oh my goodness, you're obviously having a hard time. Like, this is really, you know, you're upset. You're really, really upset. But the guy's trying to say like, oh my goodness, like, oh, they took the girl, da 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 da, like he's obviously hysterical. And of course the police are like, oh, okay. And it's like, you know, I get it. Like, you don't know actually what's going on, you know, but like, look at the guy. He's bloody and a mess. Okay. He's been up all night. Like, it's a mess. So, and then of course, while he's like trying to figure out what's going on, he gets shot, you know, with the, bow and arrow in the eye. And so he's done for instantly. And so the monster is going to come down and like figure out, you know, there's another truck here. So those are things that always get me. I'm like, damn, you feel like, okay, yes, this person is gonna help me. We're gonna figure out where we're gonna go, and we're gonna get it. Nope, because they're too strong. They have too much aim. They're too like skilled in this area. So there you go, done. But the other guy, who he's at the down now, and the girls in the dwelling, he is like, he's got a lot of skills. He gets under the car. He's trying to figure out, okay, I need to get the keys, and like, I'm gonna be under this truck with this monster and go back to the dwelling, because he knows, okay, she got by the others and they brought her someplace, so I'm gonna go with him. So that's like he's just smart, you know what I mean? Because he went into the woods, and because the guy was like waiting for him. The monster was like, oh, I thought the other guy was here, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like little things like that. So then go back to the dwelling, and they kill all of these monsters basically, and with fire. Okay, and that was really, I don't even know how they did that. I mean, obviously it's a movie, and so a lot of people could not have done that, but they figured it out. The man, again, this character was very skillful and calm. Okay, from jump, he was very, very calm. And I'm just like, man, if you want somebody who's gonna have your back, that guy. And they just met that guy. They didn't know that man. And the guy, and that's what she was saying earlier. Like, yeah, my friends were with me, and they brought me out here to like take care of, help me out or whatever, because she was having a hard time. And look, now they're all dead. She's all sad. I'm like, yeah, well, now you got another friend that you obviously can't leave him ever, because he actually saved your life. So anyway, so yeah, they knocked them all out, and then the whole house where they were living and with all the stuff around gets knocked out, or the fire wipes them out. And which is interesting, because before, they were hitting them with axe and stuff like that, and trying to fight them, and using chains and all this stuff. They started to move towards the people, right? Again, even though they were knocked down, and they thought, okay, like, we killed them, they're done. No, the guy knew, like, these are like something else. These are monsters. These are people who, I don't know how they can, they're on another level. That's why they kill the way they kill, because they're different. So anyway, so then, yeah, then, you basically get the message that, all right, we're out, because we see the fire, it's all burned down. We're getting out of here. And they had the other truck, and the guy, it's interesting, the other guy who had no teeth, who was just like, oh, you're gonna the one who's gonna have a hard time. He just closed his door. It's like, no, you knew how fucked up it was. Okay, you were trying to make this worse, Anyway, so I just was like, this is a mess. So he grabs the maps, like, yeah, we need this map, so we're not going that way again, okay? Because that was too much. And then so the two girls, or the guy and the girl, they get away. And then this is how you get the understanding that, like, these beings are monsters. They're very dangerous, and they also can't really be killed. And because then, like, police shows up to look at the wreckage, from the fire, and everything's burned down. And, he's like, oh, yeah. He's walking through, I think it's like nighttime after it's all burned down. And he's like looking it around and, seeing what's there. I mean, he's assuming probably everybody has burned down during this fire. Nope. And there they are behind him, and looking all crusty and like a monster, and just out of control, like just burned up. That's the thing. They look burnt up. So you've obviously been in the fire, but you didn't die. So yeah, that's when you come back to the reminder that, oh, this is a mutation. Like there's something really sick happening here. So, what would I say about this movie? Okay, like I'd probably, I mean, because it's like a monster, these are true monsters, you know? Like I'd say it was probably on the scale of like scary. It's probably like up there around like 8.5 for me. I'd say yeah. So anything that's like a monster, you know, like it's something that you can't really kill, or it's very difficult to kill, and you don't really understand how to like function with it or kill it or destroy it. That's very scary. You know what I mean? Like and it goes to this place, you know, where it's like, okay, this is a psychological thing, and you know, this is because it's like, yeah, this could really happen. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like a man, you know, who's killing people. You know what I mean? Who this man is gonna die. You know what I mean? It's like he's just a man, but these are monsters. These are actual monsters who there's a mutation. They look scary, they look bad, and like it's like you don't know what they're capable of. I mean, clearly they're capable of a lot. So I'd say yeah, it's pretty scary. um yeah. So I don't love scary movies, but I that was okay. I'm gonna talk about this in a minute. Okay. But yeah. Let me know how you like this review. What are your thoughts? And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.